I see we have a special guest appearance.
Yes, special guest star appearance. And this is especially for Keith J 3223, who sent a wonderful message. I subscribed after watching you both in the car with the Cockney taxi driver and the passenger. I don't know what ROF means, laughing.
Rolling on the floor.
Oh, rolling on the floor. Good man. Suggest getting into these characters anytime you go in the car. Love it. Well, yes, we will indeed. I don't know if you're familiar with this character. So this is Parker, who is actually not a taxi driver, and who's actually the chauffeur for Lady Penelope in the Thunderbirds series of. It was called Super Marionation, wasn't it? And it was incredibly popular, and certainly in the UK. I don't know about anywhere else. And it used to speak like that, and he used to talk to a milady. It always sounded like milady, like that. He had a terrible nasal problem, and Claire was Lady Penelope.
Lady Penelope.
Thank you.
Yes.
So there you go. Well, so thank you, Keith J.
There will be more Parker and Lady Penelope.
Every time we get into the car, any time we go to the supermarket, I will adopt the persona of Parker, and Claire will become Lady Penelope. Although in the series, she her car was a pink Rolls Royce.
We need one of those.
We
need one of those. I know you keep asking for a Porsche, but I think
I don't keep asking for a Porsche. I asked for a Porsche once. Anyway, Parker, thank you for your
service.
Thank you very much indeed. Yeah, put him off to one side like that.
So I wanted to answer some of the questions that we've had recently. So we've had a couple of people asking about our heating. Now, if you get enough chateau owners in one room, all they talk about is heating. Like the other evening, we were at dinner. No, it's when everybody came here. And I walked out the room for 5 minutes. I came back in and everybody's talking about heating. I was like, for goodness sake. But it is the most important topic.
It is literally the most important topic. I mean, it's sort of... you've got to imagine that we live in this place, which is ridiculously big for two people. And in effect, it's like an empty hotel. And, we don't need to heat the whole hotel. So everybody always reverts to heating conversations, heat pumps, wood burning, stoves. It is... you don't want to come to a dinner party with us. It's so boring.
So boring. But anyway, so we do have radiators. So we've got, and that's powered by a fuel oil system. I'm highly technical. Which was funny because when we came to view the chateau in the winter, we came in and it was really cozy. And we were so smug because we'd heard all the nightmares about, the heating in chateaus. And we're like, we found one with heating.
Yeah.
Aren't we wonderful?
We're wonderful. And the estate agent assured us that that we could heat this place for, I think it was like €500 a month. Yeah, right, mate. Absolutely. Yeah. If you could pull them up on that for a breach of contract.
Yeah.
Anyway. There you go. We're used to the cold, not. But we're used to walking around with duvets around us in winter.
Many layers, lighting all the fires. Stop leaning on the table. Many layers, lots of fires, and sort of living in one or two rooms. But we've had, we'd love to get a heat pump. Lots of people talking about heat pumps at the moment. And our neighbours have done one, who live in a very beautiful chateau just next door.
Which, incidentally, you will see in this Sunday's episode, because I put the drone up, and because I wanted to show how close they were to us. So it's really just a short walk, actually, for them, because they walked to the end of their garden, down a steep ravine, and then over a little bridge over the River Vendée, and then they're here basically. So you will see that. I wanted. Are you done?
No, I have more questions, but you.
No, I have. Yeah. A lot of you have been asking for us to talk about the history of the chateau. And in particular, I think one of the first was Melissa Halbert, 9455. You all have numbers after your names. Anyway, I couldn't agree more. And there is an enormous amount of history attached to this chateau. And in the years that we've been here, we've met a number of people, either related to families that used to own this, but also some very clever people. In fact, we met a real historian, French by birth, but spent most of his time in America, and he was lecturing on history. I don't know which history, but he's a very clever chap, and I spoke to him recently, and he's agreed to let us interview him. Well, ostensibly, he says he likes the idea. He hasn't agreed yet, so we don't know. If he wants paying, it's not going to happen.
No, we will pay him in tea and patisserie and give you a nice dinner.
I surely appreciate it. But he's a lovely, lovely chap, and he's incredibly knowledgeable. So there's that. I'm also trying to get a lady who wrote a book about chateaus in the Vendée, who again is also very knowledgeable, and she wrote a thesis about it. And she actually paid us a visit here, it's about probably a year and a half ago, and did a whole piece about the chateau in her book.
And also we've got a newer friend who has family connections to this chateau. So if he could give us some more information as well, that would be fantastic.
I mean, he's really, really into it. I mean, the trouble is we're both into it, but we just haven't had the time. There's an archive in the big sort of like city stroke town about an hour away from here called Roche-sur-Yon, and you can go and visit and you can go and research, and we desperately want to go and do that, and we will go and do that. But I don't think we're allowed to film in there, but I'll ask. So
you're only allowed to take a pencil in, aren't you?
Oh, that's right. No computers. Yeah.
Amazing.
So there you go. So we will, yeah. So in short, there's a lot of history associated with this place, in particular during the Vendée Wars, which we'll tell you about in more detail. It's so interesting. It really is. I mean, in essence, I think I've said this before, but in essence, this was like the last stand. This region was the last stand for the French royal family. So an awful lot went on here. It's fascinating.
But we just want to get some experts in to make sure we do it properly and not waffling on with nonsense.
You don't waffle on. Never waffle.
We never waffle. Another question. Well, more of a thank you to people who've been pointing out that I should be really careful about lead paint, because I've been stripping the windows in the orangery. They're not lead because they're too new. Because those are they were put in by the previous owners, and they've actually got double glazing in, so they're much too new to have lead paint. But we know there is lead elsewhere in the house, and we bought some really big masks with the filters and stuff on.
But thank you. It's really nice because we are aware of that, but as we're not aware of everything. So
no, it is good to.
It's lovely to have people, looking out for us when it comes to doing things like this. I've got one question. This question we've had over and over and over again, which is, this one is from Kimberly Brooks, again with a number at the end of her name, 2658. Are we all going to become numbers?
We will become numbers.
I'm not a number. I'm a free man. And she says, that was another reference to another 1960s TV. I don't know what's happening to me. That's a reference to The Prisoner, which was amazing. If you haven't seen that.
Niche. That's quite niche. I don't know if many people get that one.
No, well, I've told you now, so you can go and look it up on YouTube and get, anyway. So the question from Kimberly Brooks 2658: can we please have more of a tour upstairs, towers, outbuildings and grounds? And yes, you can. Today we thought we could do it in about an hour, filming in the outbuildings, and it ended up being sort of like 4 hours.
I know, it took forever and
I'm
got very dusty and very grubby.
very. Oh, it's disgusting.
It's
You
revolting.
know, and we did a lot of sitting on the floor and pointing things out and going through. I mean, lots of sort of very sadly really bad condition books up there that have been just dumped, you know, and
But you'll see all of that on Sunday.
yeah, Sunday you're going to see all of that.
But that was a bit of an eye opener. I don't know if I've just been in denial. I kind of ignore the outbuildings a bit because I just think about, oh, it'd be okay. We can just decorate in here and everything will be fine. But there's, you know, 3 big buildings out there, the same size as big houses, with roofs falling down and broken windows and floorboards with great big holes in.
It's just heartbreaking because, you know, the previous owners completely ignored them. I mean, they were here for 21 years.
27 years.
27, forgive me. And they have literally done nothing. Yeah. And when you ignore a property, a building for that long, it all goes wrong. And it just needs to be saved because it's part and parcel of this place. And but unfortunately, budget problems persist, and you know we can barely afford to do what we need to do in here. But it would be just great to do all of that. It'd be fantastic.
Space. We'll get there.
So we will. So on Sunday you'll see a tour of the outbuildings and a fabulous barn that really could do with being done up. And when it comes to doing the upstairs, you're not going to see the upstairs until we've done some serious clearing up because I have a certain amount of self-respect, and I'm not showing you that until we've cleared up. So
we can do gardens though. I haven't done gardens.
We can do. Well, somebody asked me today, you must have nice gardens, and I replied, well, here in France they call it un parc anglais. It's sort of like English park. Because there's not a lot of planting, not a lot of flowers.
It was a style, I don't know at what point.
Yeah.
And they ripped out all the lovely sort of, you know, the parterre gardens with the lovely little walkways and the little hedges and what you think of as like the beautiful French garden. And then this English style garden became fashionable, which is massive, massive lawn with a few trees, which is really lovely. But I would like to bring back some of the French style.
Absolutely. I mean, it's too much lawn. It's very beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but I think it's like visually it needs more 3-dimensionality to it. You know, you need to be able to walk around the park, which is about 2 hectares, but you need to have areas where you can't just see everything. You need to be able to come out of a path with grasses and turn and you have another view and you have another.
And we need a fountain.
And we need a fountain.
Or 2.
Yeah. But
I mean, doesn't everybody?
What, like a ballroom?
I'm not going to live that down, am I?
No, you're not. Of course you're not. You're Ballroom Claire.
I'm Ballroom Claire.
Is it you? Or is it me?
Well, I'm out of comments. I was just going to say what we've been up to today, really. So
I just do this one, please?
Yeah, sure.
So we've had a couple of questions about what are your plans for the chateau, and will you be hosting guests eventually, or will this remain a private residence? So our intention is we really don't want to do gîtes. We don't want to turn it into a hotel. The one thing that we really would love to do is to do sort of concerts here. My dream would be to have like a 3-day concert here where one day is jazz, one day is funk, and another day is Bon Jovi.
Yeah. If anybody knows Bon Jovi,
so if we could have a word, please, that would be great. We've got a really nice place here, and I promise you we could find a really big stage for you. It'd be quite limited on numbers. But there you go.
I don't think you would if they knew Bon Jovi.
No, that's true. I think you could probably get about 3,000 or 4,000 people in the park if they all breathed in. So, so that's what we'd like to do. The other thing that we have done is we've opened a Patreon account which would be great if all of you could support us.
But we're going to put more like interesting, exclusive stuff.
Yeah. There's nothing on there either because we're too busy trying to get YouTube sorted out and give you stuff that is genuinely interesting. But with when it comes to sort of like events and things like that, certainly if we had enough Patreon supporters, we would do a mega fantastic like apéro, that's apéritif, drinks party with food.
That would be really nice, wouldn't
The
it?
height of summer. Oh my God, it'd be fantastic. Because, well, I suppose a smaller version of that would be, we had a dinner party last week and it was a beautiful evening and everybody turns up, parks around the back in the courtyard, and then we wander out to the front and there's a beautiful tree. I don't know what it's called.
It's an Indian bean tree.
Indian bean
we
tree.
had champagne under the bean tree, which was lovely.
Oh,
just as
it's
the
gorgeous.
Sun. Oh, it was really, really nice. And then we wanted to have dinner outside, but it was a bit chilly. So we had dinner in here and we squished everybody around the table. We got 14 around the table.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It was really, really nice. It was a lovely evening. So to do something like that and welcome people in would be really, really nice.
I mean, we would definitely, for Patreon, I think we would definitely do something extraordinary. It would be worth travelling for, that's all I can tell you.
Oh, you're building it up now.
I am. I'm selling. So yeah, you were going to talk about what?
So what we've been up to today. So whilst we were busy filming the tour, we had our lovely electrician here working away, undoing the old electrics in the salon. So taking out all the old cabling so that we can then go in there and pull all the bits of batten, the rest of the material and the dodgy insulation. We can take that all off the walls. And then he can come back and do the proper new electrics.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just, neither of us trust each other enough to do electrics.
No, not involved in that.
And, I mean, just very quickly to share a story, when we were looking for the chateau, we found a beautiful chateau much further north, and it had been completely renovated by a couple of guys, and they did all the electrics themselves, and I cannot tell you how dangerous that place looked.
They had the shower. They had a walk-in shower, and then I just remember there being a socket right on floor level with the walk-in shower. So you'd literally come out with wet feet right next to the socket at floor level, virtually in the shower.
So they really knew their stuff, you know. Another, just like to finish off, really, another question from loads of people. I know we haven't done the history. I know we haven't told you where we are, but so the chateau is called Chateau de la Vergne, which is Lavergne, and there are lots of those in France, and it's close to a town called Fontenay, Fontenay, Le Comte, Comte. So you should be able to find it by Googling that. However, I'm going to, if I've got time, I'm going to try and do a thing this Sunday which shows where we are more specifically. So yeah.
So we've got a bit to do.
We have a bit to do. Yeah, indeed.
I've got to try and finish the orangery windows. It's going to be one of those things that I've started and I don't ever finish.
No, you will definitely finish. He said, cracking the whip. Anyway, it's been thank you so much for watching, and please join us on Sunday, and please follow us, and please like our things, and please hit that notification bell on the side, because it would be great if you did.
And then we can keep waffling at you.
And go and join Patreon and do all that stuff. Send us lots and lots of questions and messages. We love all the comments. They really are. We don't watch telly anymore. We just read the comments. Don't talk to each other anymore. Nothing. Anyway, see you soon. Bye for now.